Guys, what's happening with the DV 2027? You all been asking the same question. Really, what's happening? Because you wake up, check your phone, go to DV travel.state.gov, but there's still nothing. You scroll through YouTube channels, TikTok, Facebook groups. Everyone is talking, but no one really knows. Now, some say maybe it's cancelled, while I think others are still whispering. Maybe it's cancelled, Maybe it's already open somewhere else. And a few just laugh and say maybe US government just forgot about us, But deep down, we all know that that's not how it works. So today, let's slow down, dog. Let's slow down a little. Just breathe, relax, and try to understand what's really going on together. Because this isn't just another visa talk, it's something we all care about. And if you've been here a while, you already know we're more than just viewers. We're a family, the DV family. And together, we'll figure this out. Right now, it's mid-October. Normally by this time, the registration window is already open. In DV 2025, it opened in October. I think early October. DV 2026, the same thing, early October through early November. That's always been the rhythm. People rushing to take passport style photos, running to cyber cafes, double checking their details, And some of us, by this time, we'll be filling our forms at night. One hand on the keyboard, and the other eye on the countdown timer, But this year, this silence, no. Nothing new on travel.state. It feels different. It's quiet, almost too quiet. But before we start worrying, maybe it's worth remembering that silence doesn't always mean trouble, Sometimes it means they're just preparing. Maybe something new is happening behind the scene. Maybe there's a reason, There's a reason why they are taking their time this year. So in this session, let's explore the most likely reasons why the DV Lottery 2027 hasn't opened yet, We're not here to spread rumors. We're not guessing. No guesses. Just realistic explanation based on how these things usually work. So because honestly, it's not time to panic yet. But it might just be the time to understand things. So grab whatever you use, settle in. Let's start with what a lot of people believe is the main reason. System updates. This year, something new is happening behind the scenes. The DV Lottery is introducing a $1 registration fee, We all know about that. And while that $1 may sound tiny, the reality is that this small change has a big impact on how the entire system works. Think about it this way. For years, applying for DV Lottery has been free, completely free. You just go to the official site, fill in your form, upload your photo, hit submit, and that was it. No payment, no transaction, no receipt. It was simple, maybe too simple. Now with this new rule, everything changes. They can't just add a pay $1 button and call it a day. They have to build a full, secure international payment system one that can handle millions of applicants from Ethiopia, Kenya, the US, Cameroon, Ghana, Liberia, everywhere, And here's the thing, that's not easy. Every country, every country has different banks, different currencies, different security systems. Some people use debit cards, others credit cards, others use mobile wallets. So the US Department of State has to design a process that works seamlessly for everyone. That means integrating payment gateways, adding encryption layers. They don't want anybody to just enter and do funny things. They have to test the transactions. That will help prevent fraud. And making sure every single payment connects perfectly with your DV entry record, That takes time. You also need to make sure it doesn't crash. Because the more you add on a certain website, it becomes heavy. And because there will be a lot of traffic, it might crash. They have to make sure it doesn't crash. When the DV site opens, millions of people rush in at the same time. All clicking, submit. That is within hours. Imagine adding payment to that traffic. If even one thing fails, if someone pays but the entry doesn't go through, or the server times out mid-payment, it could create chaos worldwide. So that $1 fee is not just about the money. It's about security, accountability, and fairness. It's about making sure every entry is real and every applicant is genuine, Now, inside the system, this means what? It means new code, new forms, new databases, and all that has to be tested and verified. Not just once, multiple times before launch. They can't take risks with. They can't just take risks with a system this big, This is not a small thing. Some insiders have even hinted that the DV website anti-bot protection is being rewritten from the scratch. Why? Because previous years, automated bots or fake agents submitted multiple entries for the same person, sometimes hundreds of them, hoping to increase chances. And we know what that ends up to. The new system might be designed to detect and block those patterns automatically. And that's actually a good thing for real applicants, people like you and me who follow the rules and just want a fair shot. So, if we think about it logically, maybe the delay isn't a bad sign, It's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a sign that the system is being improved, modernized. To be more secure and fair. They are probably testing it right now, making sure the servers are stable, the payment system works smoothly, and that no one gets left behind because of the technical issues. It's better they take 2 or 3 weeks to fix things now than to launch early and have errors that could cost people their entries, We've seen things like that before. In 2019, the DV site had technical problems that forced the State Department to restart the entire entry process. For those who remember, I'm sure they don't want to repeat that. So, when we hear nothing, when the site stays quiet, maybe that silence just means they're working behind the scenes. And if that's true, then this delay could actually be a good news. Could be good news, When it finally opens, it will be smoother, safer, and more reliable than ever before. That's why they are taking their time. So, instead of thinking Why is it taking too long? Maybe we should be thinking, what improvements are they making right now to make system better than before for everybody? Because sometimes progress takes time, and maybe this time patience really is part of the process. Now, the second possible reason for this delay is sometimes a bit less technical, but just as powerful: regulatory delays. See, every time the US government changes a policy, even something that looks small on a paper, it has to go through an entire process of review and approval, and that process isn't quick. Take the $1 registration fee, for example. That's not something they can just announce and switch on. Legally, it must go through what's called the Federal Register process, where new rules are published publicly. They are reviewed, sometimes debated, and officially approved before they can take effect. Now, if you remember, the $1 was announced, I think it was September 30, 2025. It had to wait for 30 days to become effective. Now, it is already effective. It was September 16, I think. So it was supposed to be effective on October 16. So it's already effective. So it takes time. That means multiple departments need to sign off on it, from the Department of State to Homeland Security to Office of Management and Budget, and even legal review offices. Every line of that rule, how the fee will be collected, how refunds work, what happens if a payment fails, all of it must be explained and cleared. And all of this takes time, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, because in government, every comma and every phrase has to be legally correct before it can go public. So be patient. It's the slow, the behind the scenes side of the process that we never see. So here's the truth. Bureaucracy moves very, very slow. Painfully slow, but it moves. So what we might be calling a delay would just be a normal part of the approval chain. Once that final stamp hits the paper, once the rule is officially cleared, everything else happens quickly. The website updates, the press release goes out, and suddenly, the announcement appears on our screens. That's why sometimes it feels like it all happens overnight. One day silence, the next day, boom, registration is open. But behind that overnight change are weeks, maybe months of quiet government paperwork and approvals. And if you really think about it, that's a good thing, because those checks and balances are what makes the process fair, secure, and transparent. It's how they make sure nothing illegal or confusing slips through. So maybe right now the DV Lottery 2027 isn't late. Maybe it's just going through the final government loop. They come before the official green light, and when it does finally go through, you know that everything was done properly, legally and officially, just the way it should be. Let's talk about another big piece of puzzle: technical readiness. That's another reason I'm thinking the DV Lottery isn't just a form on a website. It's one of the most visited government websites in the entire world during registration season. We are talking about millions of people trying to access the same site, sometimes all within the first few hours. If you've ever tried to load travel.state.gov right after the announcement, you know what I mean. The site slows down, pages fail to load, It has happened to me more than once. So you can imagine how much pressure that system takes. That's why before the State Department opens the registration portal, they have to make sure everything is technically bulletproof. They test for load handling. Okay, it's not more than what it can handle. I mean, can the site handle 5 million people at once? They check security patches. Are hackers locked out? Are fake bots prevented? They verify encryption and database stability, making sure no entry data can be lost or tampered with. And it's not just about the front end, it's the entire infrastructure. Behind that simple looking website is a huge setup of servers, mirror databases, backup systems, and security layers that all have to communicate perfectly. Think about it. The system needs to accept your details, verify the photo, validate your country of eligibility, record your confirmation number, and store it safely. And that happens in an instant. That's millions of simultaneous transactions. If one part fails, even for a few minutes, that could cause thousands of incomplete entries, and people would lose their chance for the whole year. And you know how that would go online. Frustration, panic, conspiracy theories, chaos. So maybe, just maybe, the reason we haven't seen the portal open yet is that the developers and engineers are deep in testing mode. Okay? They are running stress tests, simulating what happens when the world floods the servers all at once. They are patching vulnerabilities, running cybersecurity checks, making sure nothing breaks when it finally goes live. It might sound slow to us, but from a system point of view, that's the smartest thing they can do for us. This is because once the DB window opens, there is no pause. There is no pause button to click. It runs for weeks non-stop. They can't afford a glitch, a data loss, or a crash. Remember DB 2020 and DB 2021? Some users reported site slowdowns and even temporary lockouts. Those moments taught them a lesson, You don't want to repeat that. Tell them that readiness isn't just about being online. It's about staying stable, even under pressure. So instead of rushing to open early and risk millions of people facing errors, it's far better to hold off a little longer. It doesn't hurt, and make sure everything is rock solid. And honestly, that's what makes sense this year. If they are adding a new payment system, they have to integrate it into the same platform securely. That means linking payment verification, receipts, confirmations with your entry data. That takes time. One wrong integration and the whole system could collapse. So patience. Patience in this case is safety. So when we think of technical readiness, it's not just website testing. It's a full-scale rehearsal of a global digital event, People, millions of people, one getaway, second chances. That's what we are seeing at the moment. It's a full-scale rehearsal of a global digital event. I think that's what they are preparing for. And if they are taking their time to make sure that the getaway is stable, honestly, I'd rather they do it right now, slower as they can, than fast. Because when that site finally opens and everything works smoothly, no crashes, no missing confirmations, that's when we'll know. They took the time, they did the work, and they made sure the system was ready for the world. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that doesn't get mentioned enough. The budget issues, that's what I'm talking about. Because sometimes, even when everything works, even when everything seems ready, the website, the system, plans, things still can stall for reasons completely outside the DV lottery team's control. You see, the US State Department doesn't work in isolation. It has to coordinate with multiple other agencies before certain actions can officially move forward. What that means, it means if there is even a small hiccup, a budget delay, a pending approval, or a funding freeze, everything connected to it it slows down. And that's not an unusual in Washington. Every year, there are budget negotiations. Sometimes even threats of a government shutdown. I mean, non-essential operations have to be paused. And even though we care deeply about the DV lottery, it's a technical classified under that same category. So, we heard about the government shutdown. Usually, our program here, the DV lottery, is under the same non-essential category. So if the US government is debating spending priorities or relocating resources for emergencies, the DV program might have to wait its turn. Okay? Now, imagine this. The technical team could be ready. The website could be sitting there, fully functional, but they can't hit go until the paperwork clears or the funds are released. I mean, the funds to cover operational costs, maintenance, or even staff overtime. Sometimes it's as simple as that. The timing depends on the internal approvals. And beyond the budget, there is also the administrative bandwidth. Think about it this way. This is the same State Department handling visa backlogs, refugee programs, global crisis, consular support, and diplomatic duties. They've been under immense pressure for the last 5 years, and the DV lottery, as important as it is, might not always be at the top of the immediate to-do list. It's a bit like when a school is organizing an exam, but at the same time, the teachers are handling parent meetings and reports. They can't start the exam until everything else is aligned. That's kind of what's happening here. It's not neglect, it's prioritization. And as frustrating as it feels, it's part of how big government system works. Now, there's another angle too. Political timing. Certain announcements are often coordinated with other government updates or press cycles. They might be waiting for the right moment to release the DV 2027 notice or immigration-related announcement. And while that's purely speculation, it's not impossible. Timing matters in public communication, especially when millions of people worldwide are waiting. So between budget approvals, political timing, and administrative workload, it's fair to say this. The delay might not mean something is wrong. It might just mean the wheels of the government are just turning at their usual slow pace. And as anyone who has ever dealt with the paperwork knows, government wheels don't turn fast, they turn carefully. It can be a little annoying for us waiting on the outside, constantly refreshing the page, hoping today is the day. But behind the scenes, it might just be the ordinary bureaucracy doing what bureaucracy does. So maybe this isn't a crisis. It's just a delay in the system that values procedure over speed. Now, and as much as we want that breaking news banner to pop up on the travel.state.gov, maybe the team is just waiting for all the lights to turn green before they make it official. You know, after looking at everything, the updates, the regulations, the technical stuff, and even the government side of things, maybe the truth is actually pretty simple. Maybe there's just no rush. yeah, maybe the State Department isn't late at all. Maybe they're just following the same rhythm they always have. If you look back year after year, the entry window for the diversity visa lottery has always opened around early October and gone on through early November. We all know that. That's been the pattern. Sometimes it starts on October 4th, sometimes the 5th, or even the 6th. But always within that same window. And maybe we've just gotten over anxious, so used to speculating that when nothing happens right away, we think something is wrong, but maybe it's not. Maybe behind the scenes, everything is ready, the system is tested. The announcements, they're written, the press release drafted, and they are simply waiting for the calendar to line up. For that one exact date, which they always used to go public. Governments love consistency. They like patterns. They like doing things by the book. And if that book says the DV program opens in October, they wait for October. It's kind of funny when you think about it. We, the global audience, are refreshing travel.state.gov every day. Scrolling through Twitter, Facebook asking, is it open yet? When asking ourselves, is it open yet? Meanwhile, maybe someone in Washington is just sipping coffee, looking at the clock, maybe saying, we will publish it when it's time. That's perfectly okay. Because in a way, that calmness is reassuring. It means there's no chaos and there's no emergency. It just means the process is steady. Sometimes we expect panic when we don't hear news. So yeah, maybe this year the DV 2027 announcement will arrive a little different than the previous years. It might come with a few dramas, fanfare, all those, they might come with it, they might not. And when that happens, we laugh, finally at least. But we also realize it wasn't really late at all. We were just impatient. So maybe the best thing to do right now is to relax. Get your documents ready, make sure your photo meets the requirements, check your passport details, be prepared but don't stress. So yeah, maybe there is no rush. Maybe after all the noise and speculation, this year is just business as usual. Same process, same schedule, just a little more curiosity on our side. While we wait, what can we actually do? Because sitting around scrolling through rumors isn't helping anyone. If you've learned anything from all the past lotteries, is that preparation beats panic every time. So let's talk about a few things you can start doing right now while everything is still quiet. Number 1, check only in one place, that is travel.state.gov. That's it. That's the only official source. Not YouTube comments, not Telegraph groups, not someone claiming to be an insider on Facebook. The DV lottery program is always announced there, nowhere else. So instead of clicking on secret links or watching countdown timers from random pages, just make it a habit. Once or twice a day, visit travel.state.gov and scroll through the announcements. That's the only page that matters. If it's not there, it's not real. Number 2, get your documents ready early. If you have applied before, you already know how stressful it can get when the portal finally opens. Everyone is rushing to find passport photos, resizing them, or run to the cyber cafe at the last minute. So let's not do that again this year. You can prepare now, Make sure your passport is valid, not expired, not about to expire. If you need to renew it, do it before the rush. But that's just by the way. If you're not sure about the passport thing, then get your photo ready. Clear, new photo with a plain white background. No filters, no shadows, no smiles. We've done this in past videos. Check on the videos. I will put the links in the description. While you're at it, gather your personal details. your full name as it appears on your passport, your date of birth, education level, marital status, and if you're married, your spouse's and children's information too. Because when the registration portal opens, the people who are ready will be done in minutes. The ones who aren't will still be looking for a flash drive with their photo on it, Let's be on the ready side this time. Number 3, watch out for scams. This one is serious, and I've done a video on it. I will still link it. Every single year, fake websites appear that look exactly like the real one. They'll use names like dvprogram2027.us or dvapplynow.com or dvlotteryusa.org, and they'll ask for payment upfront. They might even show fake countdowns and say things like register early before it closes, but that's all part of the trick. The truth is, if someone is asking you to pay anything right now or to apply through them, that's an instant red flag. The only time you'll pay is that small one, $1 registration fee, and you'll pay it directly on the official portal, not through an agent, not through WhatsApp, not through random link. Please remember this, the real DV lottery does not send you emails asking for payment. It does not pre-approve you. It does not have an early access system. If you get a message saying congratulations, you've been selected before the results are even out, that's a scam. Delete it. Protect yourself, your data, and your home. The DV program is meant to be fair and free, except for that one official dollar. Number 4, stay patient, but stay sharp. Yes, this part can feel slow, especially when we are eager to get started. But trust me, the best way to handle this wait is by being quietly ready. Check your details, organize your files, stay aware of the updates, and keep your mindset calm. That's all. You don't have to refresh the site every 5 minutes. Just make sure you are in the loop when the official notice drops. Finally, maybe you can share awareness. If you know friends or family who are also waiting, send them this reminder. Don't rush. Don't fall for scams. Check only travel.state.gov. You can share this link so that your friends can know, your relatives can know, so that you increase your chances, okay? Now, the DV family isn't just about hope. It's about looking out for each other. We've all been in that place of waiting, wondering, hoping for a chance. And while we wait, do these few things. Stay updated only through official sources. Get your documents ready. Avoid scams. Stay patient and positive. That's how we prepare wisely, not through panic, but through readiness. So guys, that's where we are right now. Nothing is wrong, nothing is broken. We're just in that quiet waiting zone, that little calm before everything starts again. And I know it feels long, this silence, this not knowing. Every day you check the site and it's still the same. No update, no new link, no official announcement. But that's okay, because behind the scenes, things are moving. Maybe slowly, maybe quickly, but they are moving. Think about it. Every year, this moment comes. The waiting, the questions, the rumors, and then out of nowhere, the announcement drops. And suddenly, everyone is excited again. So this quiet time is just the build-up to that moment. And when it happens, we will be right here together, and we'll be breaking it down step by step like we always do. So stay tuned, stay calm, stay ready, because the DV 2027 isn't gone. It's just waiting for the right moment. And when that moment comes, you'll hear it first here. But until then, take care of yourself, stay hopeful, keep preparing, and remember, every dream worth chasing takes patience. I'll see you in the next one.